Mega Camerupt and Mega Mawile are the only Megas we haven't covered from Mega Evolution yet. Today we're covering that matchup. John will be playing an Archuladon deck that utilizes the Mega Mawile as a late game attacker, while I'll be playing the Camerupt deck using Volcanion EX as the main source of burn. John starts the game with Squawkabilly in the active. He's going to go ahead and use that Squawk and Seize and throw the whole hand away to draw a fresh 6 cards, which that's going to give him the ability to get down a Duraludon, which is the most important thing for his deck is the turn 1 Duraludon. He attaches an energy to it. He goes ahead and plays the Team Rocket Bomb and does 20 to himself, which he can move over with Monkey Dory later if he needs to. My turn. I'm going to draw. I've started the Numble, which has the Call for Family attack. I bench another Numble, attach energy to the active one. And the only supporters I have are Boss's Orders and Hilda, and I decide it's not worth playing the Hilda, and I don't want to boss the Duraludon, so I'm just going to use Call for Family, get the Latias and the Volcanion EX, which allows me to set up the burn later. John starts his turn playing Nest Ball to get another basic from the deck. He's going to get another backup Duraludon down. And here comes another Research, throwing that hand away. Getting a whole fresh new hand, trying to find the Archuladon. He has 2 energy in the discard pile. He goes ahead and benches Fez and Monkey Door, and he did not find the Archuladon. So I draw for turn. And here I'm going to be able to play that Hilda and find the Mega Camerupt and the Ignition Energy. So the Mega Camerupt's second attack for 1 fire and 3 colorless does 280, but discards 2 energy, which works pretty good with Ignition Energy because you can just throw it away since it's going to discard during the end of the turn anyways. Its first attack, the Roasting Heat, does 80 plus 160 if the opponent's active is burned, meaning that with the burn damage, 260 for 1 energy. But I have to use that second attack to take out the Squawkabilly and take the first 2 prize cards in this game. John's going to draw for turn, but we realize he forgot to promote something, so he's going to go ahead and promote the Duraludon that had energy, which is a pretty obvious choice, I believe. And even though the Archuladon is metal, it has that Metal Defender attack where it doesn't have weakness, so that can offset a lot of the problems in this matchup for him. But he doesn't find it again, so he's just stuck with the Duraludon in the active, and I'm just going to take it out with the Roasting Heat attack because of weakness. So he promotes another Duraludon. He's going to use Flip the Script from the Pheasantipity. Then he's finally going to be able to play Ultra Ball and find Archuladon now. And get some more energy in the discard pile. So he throws away the Watchtower, double Watchtower, because he doesn't really need them in this matchup. It cuts off the ability of colorless Pokemon, which I don't think he knows. I am playing Blood Moon Ursaluna, but it's not really on his radar. So here comes Archuladon. It's going to get 2 energy. He's going to bench another Monkey Dory. And then attach for turn to the Archuladon. Earthen Vessel, he's just going to thin the deck out a little bit more. Throws an energy in the discard pile. And now he can find Dark Energy, but he has attached for turn, so it's not going to come up yet. And there's no damage in play for him to move at the moment anyways. Here we're going to see John's choice of A-Spec as Hero's Cape for the deck. That gives his Archuladon 400 HP, but here he's really just deciding if he even needs to put it in play yet, since the Metal Defender keeps him out of the weakness range anyways. So he's just going to hold it in his hand. It might be more useful on something like the Pheasantipity later. So he does the 220 with Metal Defender. That removes that fire weakness on the Archuladon. Makes it a lot harder for me to reach and knock it out. I'm going to play Ultra Ball, throw away Beach Court, and Volcanion EX, since I already have a Volcanion EX on the bench. I'm going to use that to go ahead and get Iron Bundle, so that's going to force him to move something to the active, and he's just going to throw up a Monkey Dory. And you'll see I do have Boss in hand, but I don't have a way to burn his Archuladon, or I would need Ignition Energy to also be able to take that full knockout. So I'm going to be able to grab the Ignition Energy of Hilda, but if I was playing something like Volcarona that didn't require me to switch and could still burn, would have been a little bit better situation, but I have to use the Ignition Energy to take the knockout on this Monkey Dory, going down to 2 prizes. And something I didn't mention earlier is there is a rigid band on the bench Camerupt here. That's only relevant in this matchup if he uses the Relicanth to try to return damage after I hit him for 260. because then that would be 340 damage from the Archuladon using the Relicanth to copy Duraludon's attack, and Rigid Band can help me survive that. He takes the knockout on Mega Camerupt, taking 3 prizes, and I promote Volcanion, burn it, and that's going to give me enough to take the knockout after I switched out with Boss. So game 2, John's going to start with Squawkabilly, 2 Nest Balls, and I started Volcanion. So he's going to be able to put down 2 Duraludon before using this Squawk and Seize. He's going to look at his hand and see if there's anything else he wants to play before that. And there is a Earthen Vessel, throwing away Watchtower, getting 2 Metal Energy, going to line up really good for Archuladon later on in the game. And then here's the Squawk and Seize. Discard, draw, 6. He's going to go ahead and bench Fez. And he's going to pass the turn without attaching energy, which I think's pretty interesting because he probably could have put it on the Squawkabilly for it to retreat later. I'm going to play Beach Court, which gives basic Pokemon 1 less retreat. So now the Volcanion EX can retreat with the Air Balloon, even though it has 3 retreat cost originally. And I have the Numel on the bench, but I don't have the energy to be able to do anything past that. So I just burn it and flip the coin, and it does not stay burned. So he's going to go for Night Stretcher and get Archuladon. And here, he's going to think that he can't retreat because he forgets about the Beach Court. So he's just going to end up passing turn. And once he realizes, he's a little upset about it later on. Yeah, there he is pointing it out. Those little things happen. Beach Court hasn't been played very much since it was played in Lost Box a while back for the free retreat costs, but hasn't been relevant for a very long time. So here, I'm going to retreat. Okay, I'm playing my hand down as much as I can. Gravity Mountain, just playing a bunch of switch cards because I have Surfer in hand, which allows you to switch your active and then draw until you have 5 cards. So here I get into Numel, but it's a little painful to have to throw away that many switch cards. And then I still didn't find energy to be able to attack with the Numel. But the Gravity Mountain did bump the Beach Court, so he will have to find an energy to be able to retreat this Squawkabilly now. So here comes the Professor's Research, throwing the hand away. He does find the energy to retreat into that Duraludon that has 3 energy on it. Just taking a look at the discard pile, and he's just going to take a knockout on the Numel, which Camerupt is my main attacker, so with no Numels in play, it's going to be hard for me to do anything next turn. My turn, I'm going to bench a Numel and boss the Duraludon. Has 2 retreat costs. I'm going to go ahead and burn it and just pass, and it stays burned. John draws for turn. He needs to find a way to retreat this Duraludon. Has 2 retreat costs. He's going to play Night Stretcher, get back in energy, gets back the dark energy, and then he just attaches a metal energy for turn. I think he's going to use that Hammer In attack just for 30 damage on the Volcanion, potentially. Yeah, that's what he does. He is healed from burn, but goes to 40 damage on that Duraludon. And here I'm going to play Hilda, finding the Camerupt and Fire Energy to attach. And there's the Iron Bundle to force up one of these 2 prizers. So he's just going to throw up the Squawkabilly. I'm going to burn it with the Volcanion, and the free retreat provided by the Latias is going to let me get into Camerupt. And I'll be able to take the knockout on this Squawkabilly and take 2 prize cards. He promotes the Duraludon, has 3 energy on it already. Here comes Monkey Dory, which can move damage off of that Duraludon. He's going to play the Venture Bomb, which is going to put 20 damage on his, and he just decides to go ahead and move it to keep that Archuladon full health, which is pretty relevant since I have the attack that can do 280. Then he uses the Iron Bundle. I decided to just put up the Volcanion. I think I'm not too worried about losing it because I can recover it pretty easily. I'm playing 3 copies. And there comes the Iono, resetting the hand. And there he takes 2 prize cards. I promote the Latias. Use flip the script, draw 3 cards. Trying to figure out a play here, because I'm a little scared to punch in the Archuladon, and then he can use the Relicanth to hit me back pretty hard. So I'm going to play Nest Ball. Take some time to look at my hand and figure it out. He's on 3 prize cards, so I can't attack with Blood Moon. Alright, so here comes a Volcanion. Night Stretcher for the Iron Bundle, just to force him into something else again. He puts up the Monkey Dory. He's not too worried about losing that guy. I bench another Numel. Still just have not figured out a play that I'm wanting to commit to. Here's Arven for Prime Catcher and Bravery Charm. So this is actually going to be pretty good, bringing up that Archuladon, burning it, putting the Bravery Charm on the Volcanion so that he can't take it back. And I'm going to be able to take the knockout on the Archuladon since it had left the active. So that ends up being a pretty big turn for me. We can see the camera's having some focus issues there. He promotes the Duraludon, so now he's going to put down the Mega Mawile. He puts the Hero Cape on it, attaches for turn to the Duraludon, retreats, plays Archuladon just to get the... Okay, he's going to play Research, and he's going to find the Archuladon. That's going to allow him to evolve and put 2 energy on this Mega Mawile. And the Greedily Devour attack does 80 for each prize card you have already taken. So he's taken 3 prize cards. That lets him do 240. It's not going to be enough to take the knockout in this situation, but I think he kind of knew he wasn't going to win this matchup, but he at least wanted to try to get to play his Mega. And here, my turn, I take Hilda, get Ignition Energy, and that's game.